Hello everyone, I am recording this shortly after 2 p.m. on Thursday, March 5th, 2020. I am in the area of Bowling Green. We're going to do a little bit of a audio feature because again, I don't trust my camera with the lighting, so we're just going to do this instead with my logo. Much easier to do, I think. So, why am I in Lower Manhattan today? Well, reason why I'm down here was I just came out of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee meeting for the MTA. I'm not impressed with Anthony McCord. He kept bragging on about airports, and I'm like, what does this have to do with the MTA? That's what I was thinking to myself. And then he wrapped up his remarks by saying, oh, the MTA's the downstate New York regional, to make our region function, we need MTA. I'm like, this is supposed to impress me? This is the Chief Transformation Officer? I was just disgruntled today. I'm like, I wanted to finally get out my thoughts, and I'm not impressed by this guy. No wonder there was a shady business last year to approve him behind closed doors. I completely agree with what Jason Anthony said a while back, was that should have been a public process, but no, they want to do things that are closed behind doors. I'm just very disgruntled. You know, I am just disgusted what happened today. And Trudy Mason, once again, you know, I made a meme about her a couple days ago and she deserved it. That's what you get with Trudy Mason. And, you know, it's disgusting. It's disgusting and volatile how this woman always acts. And it's just like, you know, how much more can I take of this? You know, I ask myself, but then again, I have to deal with this woman on the 26th when I go back to commuter council. But, you know, it's crazy. We briefly brought up in new business today the bus redesigns. And thankfully for the Bronx, I can confirm this because Andrew Albert is on the MTA board. MTA will be, in fact, voting to approve the bus redesign in April. April! Okay, we're on the right term on that. At least the BX22 is still going to go to Fordham Road and North Avenue. At least that's a guarantee. I saw the plan for myself in a way, but I have to see what other routes are crazy, because Andrew was mentioning there was one route that went up a hill or something, but at least the express buses are not going to be touched. But again, we have to wait until April. Okay, fine. I'm not mad about that. I'm sure the residents in the Bronx are still on edge. Can you blame them? Can you blame the Bronx residents who like their buses? I can understand where they're coming from. It is a madhouse. It is a madhouse what goes on around the MTA lately. I am just thinking to myself, what's going on here? And then here's where things really made me angry today. The Eagle Force teams, the one that's supposed to go to the, what is it, right? The select bus. Guess what? They bought that up today. And I'm like, okay, you bought this up, but now I had to blur out a little bit. Q44 select bus in between Flushing and Bronx Zoo doesn't get fair enforcement. Oh, my bad. I meant to say Jamaica, because I know Andy Kinto's probably watching. I meant to say Jamaica from Sutton and Archer. Well, actually, no, it's the bus terminal, right? Oh, no, my bad. It's Parsons. Parsons and, Parsons Boulevard. So, you know, it's just disgusting what goes on. Really disgusting. I am, you know, left wondering, there's supposed to be more Eagle guys. You know, I agree with the people with the commuter councils that, you know, they should be in Manhattan. Completely agree about that. What about Queens? You know, why don't we get fair enforcement on the 44? Why don't we get fair enforcement on the 52 and 53 that goes along Woodhaven Boulevard? You know? And then everybody in the room today was, when Andrew Roberts said, oh, they want to get rid of the Q53, everybody was stunned. So there are people in this council who do seem to care about Queens, which is a good sign. Yippee! I love being sarcastic. But, you know, this is what I do for my profession now. Does matter, right? So, I will mention that Randy Glockman, Metro North Commuter Council, sounded very concerned today about New Jersey Transit. We're all concerned too, especially how it is going to have an impact on the PCAC Valley line if NJT fails to comply with the positive train control deadline on December 31st. So, New Jersey's still in a disaster. I don't even want to get into that today. I don't even know when New Jersey's meeting this month, which I'll have to do another highlight video of that, because New Jersey has terrible editing when it comes to getting rid of the part where the board wasn't speaking to the public, which there are still shady things that go along, you know, NJT as well. I still think they're worse than MTA. I get annoyed that they keep making excuses. Why are they making excuses? It's not right. What's going on in New Jersey now, is it? No. Because they do not want to understand the severity of not having positive train control in 2021. So that, I'm sorry, I went off topic there, but we talked about vagrants, and yes, we talked about that today. I'm sorry for not being politically correct. We talked about those people today, and you know, it's an issue, and I did bring up Kew Gardens to Andrew today, and Andrew's gonna make sure that after the New York City Transit Committee that I meet with Ed De La Torre or Christine Bespendick, because we're gonna work on trying to get more cops from Transit District 20 at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike. I'm hoping that maybe in April or May we're going to get more police, but I will say this, our friend, we'll just call him that so that we don't sound rude, Isaiah was panhandling yet again. Why aren't I surprised about that? And, you know, I just have to keep using that Jackie Robinson exit. You know, what entrance or exit that is. We're now going to watch a quick 1-minute video I tweeted out earlier regarding why I've been using the Jackie Robinson Parkway entrance recently at the Kew Gardens Union Turnpike E&F train station. And also I want to quickly mention, when I was at Kew Gardens back on Monday, he was being very aggressive. So I did mention that in the video. Alright folks, so you just saw the picture. Isaiah's panhandling again. Thankfully he wasn't being aggressive as he was back on Monday, but it just comes to show the Transit District 20 doesn't seem to care. You know, as I say, it's going to take a mugging or stabbing or a shooting for this guy to finally get out of the station. That's how bad it is. And I know what happened when I told Chief De La Torre back in December about him, was that, you know, he's been panhandling now for the past year, He's been doing it since January of last year. And, you know, I have to keep low key. I have to be careful when I see him. Because it just proves the point that, once again, Transit District 20 is nowhere to be found. I'm sick and tired of this, man. And as I said, you know, I'm not going to see Ed until maybe, I don't know, maybe the end of the month. So now I have to wait to speak to Ed De La Torre at the end of the month to ask, bottom line, can we have more patrols at Transit District 20, Kew Gardens, and maybe Forest Hills? Because Forest Hills has vagrants too, but just comes to the point, man. I'm sick and tired of this. One last point I want to make before we get back to the audio clip. Right around 3 o'clock today, I did see 2 police officers at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike because somebody was being disorderly there this afternoon regarding, oh, coronavirus is going to kill you. He had this, I actually saw the guy. He had peanut M&M. He was, you know, trying to scare people. And, you know, I'm like, seriously, these 2 cops are just standing there, and yet they could be all over patrolling the station. It's just a madhouse. I mean, yeah, I feel glad I'm reassured to see 2 officers today at Kew Gardens Union Turnpike an hour before peak starts at 4 o'clock, especially when eastbound limited service begins at 4 o'clock on the Q46. But it just, once again, proves the point that when they're actually needed, they're not there. So, I'll just mention that, again, I'm going to speak to Ed De La Torre and Christine Bespendic about this on the 23rd when I see them after the transit committee. You know, I don't care what happens to him. He just needs to get out. Leave us alone. You know, I don't care if he goes to jail. I don't care if he goes to a shelter. I don't care if he even leaves the state. Just leave us alone in Kew Gardens. That's all we're asking. Because I have some bitterness in me, folks. He was in Delmarva. They have programs in Ocean City to get these people off the boardwalk. You know, just this is what I do. I mean, thank goodness I vetted everything out going to Vesey Street right now. My normal walk I go to every time I come from 2 Broadway. I'm about to get on the E train. And I wonder how that's going to end up today, heading home. But it just shows, once again, this is the MTA at work. I mean, it could be worse. As I said, it could be New Jersey. I still think New Jersey's situation is much, much worse than MTA's in New York. And if I went to New Jersey, I don't know how I would feel. I don't know how I would feel about their dysfunction. They're still a dysfunctional agency in New Jersey. So, I'll go on the record as I'm entering World Trade Center on the E train. I'm going to be meeting with a staffer from John Liu's office in Bayside this upcoming Monday, March 9th at high noon. I won't say the name of the staffer for privacy reasons, but I have let the council members know on the record. It was off camera, I will say that. And they know I'm meeting with John Liu, but one of the council members were very disgruntled when I brought up the fact that in the Bronx, if you have an issue, contact your local elected officials. And she claims to me, oh, they're in Manhattan. I forget which council member it was, but still. I'm glad John Liu is being cooperative. That's a big sigh of relief. So I will be meeting with the staffer on Monday, and it looks like the E is about to leave. So I am going to get on board right now. So thank you all for tuning in. I'll let you know how things go on Monday with the bus redesign in Queens, because that's a big issue, especially how, again, you know, John's delaying it until April. That's the last hearing on the 7th at Queens County Farm Museum on April 7th. So I'm on the E, and hopefully I'll give you guys an update on Monday. I'm going to be in a conference room with the staffer on Bell Boulevard So I'll let you know how that ends up. So until the next one, please take care.